Joining us today for WVLT News at noon. We do have team coverage today as water is still covering parts of East Tennessee. We'll start with this video here. This is the 23rd Street area this morning in downtown Knoxville. You can see cars under water. Knoxville firefighters rescuing 4 people from their apartment this morning. We'll start with our Erica Lunsford, who is in downtown in the Fort Sanders area. Erica, I'm seeing a lot of water behind you. Do you know about how high that water is now?
Well, Brittany, just to put things in better perspective as to how high the water is, you can see these cars behind me here. It goes halfway up to the cars, almost close to the windows. And then I don't know if you can see that SUV up there. That door is completely open. And again, the water level is up to the car windows here. Now, we did have people here earlier trying to walk to their cars and try to see if they can salvage anything, but they were told to get out of the water because the electricity is still on in this area. There's no word yet on when things will be cleared up. I've reached out to KUB. I've also reached out to the city just to see if any crews are going to be out here to try to help people get their cars and help the flooding out here. Now, some person I did talk to today earlier, they were a little camera shy. They said that they own that black car, one of those cars that's stuck right there, and they had to call out of work because they had no way to get to work here. And some people I did speak to, they did say they had to call other people to take them to work because they're just trapped. Now, a lot of people said, like, when it does rain normally here, it does tend to flood, but nothing like this. Like, they've never seen it flooded so badly to where they can't even walk. Earlier today, there was a dumpster there, and it was almost filled with water. We have been out here, and people just have been shocked, showing pictures, being on FaceTime with people, just showing them the damage that's been done. But as of now, it's no word yet. We did try to reach out to management. They said they have no comment for us right now at this time as to when things will get cleared up, but it could take a couple days at this point. Brittany?
Erica, very uncommon to see water, especially that high in this part of town. Glad you pointed out how unsafe it is to be in flood waters. We also heard reports of cars stalling in deep flood water there. You talked to some people. Did the driver make it out?
I have not spoke to the driver yet, but I'm hoping that they did make it out. We have not heard of any reports of injuries while I have been out here, Brittany.
Erica Lunsford reporting in downtown Knoxville. Erica, thank you. More than 5,000 customers from KUB are without power. Here's a look at sparks flying in Powell. The storm hit around 9 o'clock last night. Power outages followed, most of them in North Knox County and Anderson County. More than 160 Clinton Utility Board customers are still waiting for that power to come back on what will be a very hot day. We continue our coverage here. Gwendolyn Dupree is at the fairgrounds in Anderson County. The good news is everyone is safe, but Gwen, people were at the fair when the storm hit. They say they've never seen a storm like this.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Brittany. Well, the folks here at the fairgrounds definitely didn't have to jump on a Ferris wheel to be thrown for a loop. The storm took care of that for them. The president here telling me that they had to take cover inside a nearby building and ride out the storm. And by the time they got out, they were welcomed by a mess, just a nasty mess. You can take a look at it here. But we're told that all this isn't enough damage to stop the show. Luckily, none of the rides took a hit and everyone is reportedly safe. Now, at one point outside of the fair here, just across the county, we got reports of law enforcement having to go door to door to some homes here in Clinton, evacuating some people out of those homes because of rising water. Now, we've seen it all here this morning, everything from downed and uprooted trees to road closures across the county. People saying they've never seen anything like it.
The huge tent behind us, I mean, if it wouldn't have been for an employee's truck, it would probably ended out on the boulevard. But it was sort of crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
When we turned around, started to plow the driveway, the tree had tumbled down on the house. We had no idea of all the damage in our backyard. It's uprooted all the trees in our backyard, caused a lot of damage. It was very, very scary. Our basement partially flooded, so it was a mess.
Again, the biggest news out of all this is that everyone is safe here in Anderson County, and specifically here in Clinton, in the city of Clinton. I will say too, I asked, will there be a fair here for the next 3 days? And the answer was yes. They're hoping to open up at 5 o'clock here today, Brittany.
Wow, Gwen, glad to hear that they're going on with it. The last day for the fair, by the way, is Saturday. We will keep an eye on this. Any idea how long they expect the cleanup to take, Gwen?
Yeah, well, just looking at and assessing the damage across here between the flooding and those down uprooted trees, it's going to be several weeks for some folks who had trees falling on top of their homes and down power lines across their roadways to clean all this up. But again, can't stress it enough. Everyone walked out alive.
That is the good news. Gwendolyn Ducree in Clinton for us today. Gwen, thanks.